Ladies, gentlemen, and others in chat, welcome to another drawing stream. We're still on Inktober. We're almost 2/3 through. And today's subject is deal. Of course, I had to be the idiot to pick a reference image that is not one hand, two hands in a handshake. Well, just gotta get to it, I guess. So, how is everyone? I'm doing rather well, actually. Couple of hiccups, of course, as is tradition. My mom came by for lunch today. It was very nice. We had a jolly good time. And talked about this and that. Good connections, good times. The good times, the bad times. But mostly, we had a good time. And turning to the coughing thing, which is probably not the most pleasant thing to hear. I don't know how accurate that the humidity measuring unit on that digital watch that I have on my wall is, but like even if it's wrong or not necessarily pretty accurate, it's down to like 17%. And the wise sages of the internet says, yeah, that stuff shouldn't be, that should be in the 40s or 30s. So, we gotta do something about that, chat. I might have to go out and buy that humidifier after all. And as is tradition, this needs to be higher. Then plateaus. How does that look? If we're gonna use this thing here as an anchor point. Not too bad, it's just a little flatter here. And a little bit lower here. And I think we pretty much can just continue that angle, really. Almost, kinda, yes, no. This needs to be lower, I believe. Yeah. Something like that. Close enough. Yeah. I don't know if you can pick it up, but I am doing the laundry, so you'll just have to excuse any background rumblings of my laundry machine. I almost said dishwasher there, but I didn't because I'm not I'm only a partial idiot, not a complete idiot. Okay, that is a very pointy knuckle. And it's also on the wrong spot. Now, mind you, I shouldn't get stuck on the tiny little details yet. All right, I had this silly little idea of dipping my toes into front-end development, basically making web pages. And I started a course, and because they were like, oh yeah, we have a community, it's project-based learning, we're just going to give you lots of little cute little projects, and you can work on them, and if you have any questions, you ask the community, and so on and so forth. All good and dandy. The thing is, chat, I don't know anything about HTML or CSS or JavaScript. Nothing. I know it's just I know HTML is a thing, but I didn't have no way. And JavaScript would go like, yeah, that rings a distant bell, or at least Java. So okay, cool. Excuse me. So when I was kind of just thrown into, oh yeah, now you just start doing, now you should just start doing, like, now you should start doing, do some projects. I'm like, that is probably a little bit too early for that, right? And true enough, like, I had no idea. And granted, like, to their credits, go like, yeah, well, it's a prerequisite to start with this project. You kind of need to know a little bit of 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit of, you know, like, Java, you know, need not Java, but HTML and CSS. You need to have some familiarity with those two. But if you don't, you can check out these wonderful resources that are completely free. Like, cool, hit me up. And the resources were just like, it was just text chat, just straight up nothing but text. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't sit here and sift through an ocean of incredibly dull papers like that. I just can't. There's just no way I'm doing that. And there's gotta be a better way. There's gotta be a better way. I don't know, like, alright. Oh, what can we do? And like, sure enough, here we are. We have some options, and they're pretty great, in all honesty. I found another site which just had a lot of, it's the same information, but it was just presented differently. It was broken down differently. You had these little pop quizzes at the end that you can answer. There's a little built-in editor that you go like, oh yeah, like this is the absolute bare minimum that you always have to start an HTML file with. And try it, and you could see the code on one half in the browser, and you could see like the resulting text on the other half, and you could just mess around. So I figured like, hold on, let me cook. So instead of doing the whole visual code, is that it? Microsoft Visual Code thing, and sync it up with GitHub and GitGood and all of that jazz. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing any of that. I'm just gonna take a basic ass text editor. I'm just gonna type into that, like straight up. Just straight up type into that. I'm like, wait, can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, like, totally do that. And I was a little, and you would go like, yeah, this is your first paragraph. Go like, yeah, cool, look at me go, I'm coding. And the basic text editor that comes in comes with Linux Mint that I'm running. Like, really? Is that it? Kind of low-key is. Yeah, like the angles are wrong. But I mean, this one is. And yeah, that came, so the text editor kind of like, oh yeah, it comes with like some very basic bells and whistles. So like, yeah, when you format the code correctly, you know, it color codes it. It's like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm coding, chat, look at me, I'm coding. So I just go like, this is how you make a heading, this is how you make a paragraph, this is how you make a hyperlink, and tooltip. It was genuinely fun, chat. And I probably would have kept at it like all day. Had it not, all the way up the stream, had it not been for my mom stopping by for lunch. I have this weird thing that I can't just quickly effortlessly hop from one thing to another. That just, for whatever reason, that just doesn't jive with me. So I did the sensible thing instead and watched some anime. Older anime. Very old. Like 2000, what is it, like 10-year-old anime, like 2012 anime. And yeah, I was just one episode. But anyway, kind of just want to crudely block them. Yeah, we're gonna have to refine these lines a bit. Obviously, but you know. Again, I'm not entirely sure how to fully do this, but let's just try, chat. You just gotta try at this point. I can hear my laundry machine. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but what can I do but say that I'm sorry? I don't know. Should I? Is that something that we should apologize for? Still so new too. Ooh, yeah, like kind of low-key like that. Gets all angular and stuff instead of like that. Yeah, let's just go with it, chat. Because as you all know, hands are notoriously difficult to draw, so, and I'm not gonna sit here and claim that I'm some sort of expert draftsman. Far from it. Like if that is that one. So you see that changing it. What about the other one here? It should have. Nope. Yeah, we can fix that. Because I'm so used to going like this, but then I probably should. Curves away. That's a bit too much, but at least screw it. Screw it. Screw it, chat. We'll just leave it as is. There we go. We're probably gonna need a other, yeah, edge. That's sort of represents the, yeah. Right. But then, is that included? Yeah, that is included. Does end up with it being a little bit of... Nope, don't change. Alright. I think we'll just continue with these lines, and if we continue the sort of like angular theme that we got going here, look at that. Oh, yeah, baby. There we go. Look at that, chat. Ooh. Really push. Oh, why not? Both the frustrating and liberating thing about art as opposed to coding is, hey, guess what? There are no answers. Or there are answers, but they're not like, not necessarily ironclad answers, is what I suppose we should. Pointing out. Just want to roughly the correct proportions. Yeah. Yeah, you could just almost like patch it up like this and just try to get this to somehow work and get this really funky segment here. There we go. Okay, cool. Let's try and go for the nails. Yeah. I be able? Excuse me. Will I be able to make it as a front end dev? I have no idea. We'll just have to wait and see. But even if, like, even if I quote unquote fail, I would still have acquired some skills that, you know, in the grand scheme of things, aren't completely hopeless, you know? Yeah, okay, I really don't like these fingers. But I'm wondering if we can just make them boxy, angular. Right? So we just make a new layer. Let me cook, chat. Let me cook. Instead of going for the roundness, we can just go. Almost. Like almost. Oh, what is it? Dexter's Laboratory and a Samurai Jack. That kind of, yeah, that kind of a vibe, that kind of a feel. Good work. Just need to make them thinner. And of course, like an idiot, I just go like, no, I'm not gonna use a thinner brush. Where's the fun in that? I'm gonna take... But honestly, I'm gonna be level with you, chat. It's decisions like that. I go like, no, I'm not gonna use a thinner brush. I'm gonna take a big brush and I'm gonna sculpt my lines. It's creative decisions like that that sort of lays the foundation for essentially your style, really. Right? It gives you, that is your line quality. It's like it gives you some very distinct lines to work with. And this little happy little accident here is actually pretty great because that's usually what you want, right? Because when you have, let's go into tutorial mode here, chat. When you have two lines that meet, you usually want like form this little triangle between the lines. So that's it. So the thing that this little big ink blob here is, that's just me playing 256 dimensional chess. True story, chat. True story. This might be a bit too thick for my liking, so yeah. Let's trim these things down a little bit. Clean up. We want them to be boxy, but not necessarily. Ooh, that's clean, chat. That's very, very clean. I just would like to have a round corner there, please. Yeah, there we go. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look that bad. Kind of low-key remind me of that brain fart, not the brain fart, the Black Lives Matter. Isn't that's boxy. But yeah. Okay. We gotta do something with the back end here. It's not that much that we... Oh, well, okay, we can... Okay, I made hand bigger, but screw it. It's not perfect. But... Again, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, chat. Gotta learn to let go. All right. Okay. I mean, we could cook with that. But this needs to come down like such, I think. Isn't that about right? Almost. It needs to come down to about here. This needs to go away. And then, technically speaking, all of this also needs to... Right. And then we just clean this stuff up. Yeah. There we go. Beepity boppin'. Beepity boppin'. Holy smokesy pants. That is not easy. There we go. I'll probably need to get that shadow. No, it's just like triangular thing. And probably need to clean this up a little bit so that it looks representative. Yeah. I don't think whatever. I think that's too much. Does that work? I feel like that's too much line. He says that I have to put, you know, a metric ton with a line in. But yeah. Yeah, I kind of like these those little spiky tips. Looking good, chat. Looking good. At least from a distance, which is... Yeah, but I can... Yeah. It does look like a genuine handshake, though. It does. The question is how can... Alright, like there's a pretty big wrinkle around here, so we could add that. Now it's just cozy detail work. Yeah, but again, it's a bit. Yeah, that is low key in the right place, but it probably needs to be. Heck of a thinner. Like that. That's the. Excuse me. Yeah. Humidifier Monday. If that doesn't help, then I have no idea what else I can try, to be honest. But there we go. Suppose we could add a little bit of a like anatomical bump there, and there's a bit of a bump before that one. And there might be a really gentle. Yeah, well, you know. Maybe put a bigger emphasis on the shadow here. Right. Like, if you had more values, you could always do more to show the volume of the form and whatnot, but yeah, because then you can get knuckles and cast shadows and form stuff like that. Do all sorts of fancy stuff, chat. But for two values, and considering I am not very good at drawing hands, yeah, I'm happy with it. If you're happy and you know, and clap your hands. That was a desk. Oh, so here I am, drinking water and feeling pretty good about myself. What can you ask for, chat? What more can you ask for in this day and age? All right. So, what else are we going to talk about, chat? Today's Saturday, so I guess the bot pushers on Kick don't have they have Saturdays off. Nobody wants to take a weekend shift. Okay, so reminder to my lovely audience, and also of course to my myself, obviously, because a bit of a dum-dum. Earlier stream tomorrow, I'm gonna swear off to play board game Gloomhaven. We're about to wrap it up. Though, you know, we don't really have that many missions left, dungeon crawls left. But you know, it is what it is. I kind of wanted to wrap it up. Where's that alt text? Two people shaking hands. Yep. I'll post that. I am getting a little bit, getting some likes. Still single digits, but hey, I'll take it. But then again, likes has never really been a priority of mine. But yeah, so I'll probably continue. I need to maintain my skill level for the Microsoft certification exam, which is pretty much, I think, like exactly 1 month. Yeah, exactly 1 month away, November 18th. And then while I work on cut my way through HTML tutorials and then CSS tutorials. Once I've done both of those, I could probably start tackling some project, which should be go pretty quickly, I think. Because I really do generally want to dive into projects and start learning things and learn things that way. And even if it doesn't land me a job, still a pretty neat skill to have. Because like I said, been thinking about making a website for myself where I can post my art and stuff like that. And yeah, indie websites, which was a little bit before, well, it wasn't technically speaking before my time, but indie websites have basically embracing the internet how it was in the early mid 90s, which was before my time. And then I joined the internet very late, in like late 90s, early 2000s. That's when I hopped on that. So yeah, and then it was starting to die out, because then people like MySpace was kind of showing up, and then of course the juggernauts of Facebook came. But you know, enough about me musing and yapping about the days of yore. Right, so stream tomorrow is 12 p.m. and Monday stream will be 6 p.m. Alright? So until then, keep drawing and keep having fun, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.